Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's get to it. We see here Apple is sitting right on the level that could decide today's move. If 310 holds, as you see, with 310 holds, buyers may get a reclaim back to the upside. If 310 breaks, though, this can turn into a clean breakdown setup. Let me show you exactly what I'm watching. Quick disclaimer: this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing my chart breakdown and trade plan for educational purpose. As always, manage your own risk. All right, let's get to it, my peoples. What's going on, my YGO family? This is You Got Options, and today we're breaking down Apple on the 15-minute chart, which is my execution time frame. But here's the main question today. It's simple. Does Apple defend the 310 area and reclaim higher, or does it lose support and continue lower? I'm not predicting. I'm waiting for agreement, as always. What I'm seeing here on the chart is price price pushed into the upper resistance area near 313.19, and then it right here, and you can see where it rejected around this area. And like on yesterday, it got to the high of three. Let me move this and do some adjustments. So we'll get that fixed in just a second. Um, but rejecting and it's pulling back to the major support zone. Like you see, there's major. See where price hit here and bounce back up because that's where it's just, I know it's a sell, but when it closed here at the body, so we see there's action here around the 310, 15 to 315, 310.38. That area matters because it lines up with a previous day high, previous day low. If you see it here, I know it's hard to see, but previous day low and the 6 hour low. So they both are something happened there. They both it's right there. It's critical support levels, or not critical, but there are support levels where we have to see how buyers going to respond at this level. Um, Another thing I'm watching is my EMAs. As you know, my white is my 8 EMA, my purple is the 21. So we're gonna see if it does defend, it does get a bounce. We're gonna see how it responds to those levels. Will it continue to break through, or will they respect it? Like you can see that it's beginning to respect. So we might get a pullback and and then it might get price pulling back. It might bounce here, pull back to that line and respect it, and then it comes back down and goes straight through the previous day low. And if that's the case, then as you can see, my first target here is the pre-market low. So if we quickly jump over to the pre-market, we'll see pre-market low is here. So you can see price is already trying to come back up, but like I said, I'm thinking that it's gonna take all. If anything, is gonna come back and retest a 6 hour high from yesterday, which is, as you can see here in the post market, got here and rejected. So it might take all this liquidity here, come back up here, and come back down. So we might see it go all the way up and then shoot back down. So that's why we don't chase. Um, so I would see this is why, but I see this is why I got pre-market low as my first take profit at 308.67. And then if it breaks through that, we'll trim off some of your contracts. So if you have multiple contracts, this would be a good place to trim off some of your contracts, like 50%, and then leave you some runners to my second take profit is 307.02, and that comes here where you see there's other movement there. And the third, it would kill if price is truly moving. We might get it all the way down to critical support before buyers or institutions steps back in at 305.21, because we do have some news to consider. Got FOMC this week, today actually around 2, and because of the Iran war, all that can can play a part. But like I said, we don't guess around here. Um, we see what we see what the agreement of the market is going to be, and see if it agrees with what we're saying. So that's one thing my mentor Chris Sang said: we don't guess, we react. So that's why we don't jump into just anything. Don't chase. Um, so, and as you know, my edge, and this is how I get. I also this is like the pre-market part of it. Is but my edge comes from wait for the first 15-minute candle. We block off the top and the bottom of the first 15 minute, and then we'll make price prove to us, make the charts prove to us even more that it's going to go in the direction we said. Because if we look on yesterday, let me put this back to regular time frame. We look at yesterday, like I told you, if you wasn't here, this is the ORB that I use. And here are my settings for to make sure the total time is 15. I make sure that it's set from 9:30 to 9:45. What this does is just a simple way to draw your lines automatically. In the age of technology, if you're not using, you know, you know, things we're gonna make sure that we understand how to use it and why we're using it. Because if you don't know why you're using it, then it does you no good. So, but we have these indicators to help us to react a little bit faster, even though they are some indicators are a little behind. So that's why we are teaching how to basically teaching you how to fish, how to understand how to do this. So you have to move this. Oh, sorry, I was trying to get rid of this. Move this out of the way. Move this out of the way. All right. So as you see yesterday, by me waiting until, if you'd have waited until the first candle was created in this. So that's the first 15 minutes. As you see, prices stayed in that little um, consolidated within that first 15-minute candle. Yes, you could have made money. There's always a way to make money. You could have made it in between going back down. But for me, for what I do, it's best from that shows that's not a real trade there because it stayed in between uh, my ORB. So there was no breakout. There was no retest for me on that level. For other strategies and things there might be another way for your trade, and we can go through that later on because I do have other ways, but we're gonna stick to this one, and that's the ORB breakout retest. That's what has been working, so that's what we're sticking to. So let me get back to it, but that's what I'll say. I'll wait to the first 15 minute, as you say, or you can get the ORB. If you didn't see where it was, you just type in. This is the actual one that I use. It's by ZZZ Crypto 123. I use that one. So, um, and once that's drawn, like here, we wait till there's a break, a retest, and it goes down. My bias on today is bearish, so I'm gonna tell you where that is for me. Like I said, I'm waiting for a break here. If it still lines up and come back and retest the previous day low, or come back and touch the previous day low and hold and goes back down, or what, depending on what my 15 minutes, some of this might need to be adjusted. But that's why I say do your own research and make sure that you're locking in. But nevertheless, this is what I'm looking at. Break and retest of the previous day low, which we already see that in the pre-markets it's already done. So we might have to adjust this a little bit when the market starts. If market starts and the pre-market is already done broke this, so we get new pre-market low, then what I'll probably be looking at wherever pre-market low is, a break and retest of that, and TP2 becomes TP1, TP3 becomes TP2, so to speak. So just keep that in mind. And then for the upside, I'm looking for it has to prove that it's going up. So that's where my 6 hour um, level comes from yesterday. I noticed whenever it breaks, it pretty much goes in that direction for the most part. So um, That's not always true, but for on average, whenever it breaks one side of the 6 hour, which with volume, then that's what we're looking at. So for the upside, going back to the 15, I'm looking for a break and retest of the 6 hour high. First take profit would be around 313 or 314, 43 or 313.99, somewhere in that area, and then up to previous day high, uh, which is my take profit too, is 315.48. So that's that's what I'm looking at today. Again, do your own due diligence. I'm just trying to show you what I'm looking at. And if you have any questions or anything like that, hit the comment. Let me know if this helped you in any way. And also remember where you get in, make sure you have a stop loss. I didn't cover that, but if I get in, say here, if I'm getting in to go low, and let's take for instance pre-market low, my stop loss go immediately on the other side of that, and I go here because you got to manage your risk. So if you're not managing your risk, you don't need to be trading. And again, we'll break down this even more. I know this is quick, but these are meant to be to give you a quick game plan before the market opens. So, so again, one more time before I leave, simple uh, uh, plan is we're looking at uh, more like more of a bearish bias. So to the downside, we're looking for puts. But again, we're not guessing. We're gonna wait and make the market show me for sure that that's where we're going. So be patient. Um, again, I'm not predicting. I'm waiting for agreement. That's what we do right here. This is you got options. Study the levels. Wait for agreement. Trade with this one. I'll talk to you later. Happy trading. God bless.